Yo, what's up? It's me, E. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the stream. Today is a bit special. Happy Sunday to everyone. Today I want to talk about Warhammer games, and I, for myself, am not an authority of any sort of sphere or dimension of the game. So I brought in an expert to talk about the game itself. Please help me welcome my special guest, your friends and ours, Sir Rick Tidoy. Hi, Sir
Yo,
Rick.
hi, yo.
Hi, everyone. It's been a long time coming for this type of stream. Just wanted to sit down, have this chat with you. Most of the time, when we see each other on conventions, expos, most of the time. And what I end up doing is perusing your awesome table with those superb miniature, especially with the community as well, featuring their miniature. I've always been fascinated. Thank you very much for joining me here, Sir Rick.
No problem, no problem.
Sir Rick, I wanted to give a brief introduction for the group who is not yet familiar of who you are, Sir Rick. Can you give a quick introduction about who you are, how you came into the hobby, and yeah, just
My name is Rick Tidoy. I have been playing tabletop games since grade school back in Corpus Christi. I started with MTG. Not very active in MTG anymore, but I'm more active in Pokemon TCG, which I've been playing since grade school as well. Right now, I am most active in Warhammer, not just 40k, but also Age of Sigmar and Kill Team, Underworlds, and I'm starting to learn Warcry. There are a lot of 40k games.
roughly about when would you say that you started looking at Warhammer games? What age spectrum or like is a space? Would you say high school, college?
I started to know about 40k, 40k to be specific, around I think college. Back in the day, there was this really old legendary internet cafe called Siberia in front of Xavier, which is now McDonald's. And then we used to play there every day. And there is this game called Dawn of War. I am a big RTS guy. I played Red Alert, StarCraft. So those are my favorites, Warcraft. And then suddenly I saw Kent Baguio playing Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War. And then I got curious, I played and then got hooked. I cleared every campaign, every single faction in Siberia. A lot of hours spent on that. I did not have a PC of my own back then. I was still in college, so and then around 2015, 2016, Total War Warhammer happened, and I got hooked a lot with Total War Warhammer. And then I learned it was a tabletop game, so I watched some videos, learned the game through basically YouTube, and that's it. I started 8th edition, started 2018 for the tabletop actually, and then bought the Dark Imperium starter set, Death Guard versus Space Marines, and my first army was Space Wolves, not your normal Space Marines. They're more of Viking werewolves, but their basic units are compatible with normal Space Marines.
Space Marine. So what I'm getting from our conversation is that you started off with video games. I didn't know that Warhammer was initially a video game concept that then transitioned into a tabletop.
Actually, there's this. it's gonna spend its 40th anniversary now. It started with Games Workshop. It started out as a miniature company that does TTRPG models.
Hmm.
And they created a concept where you can gather all the TTRPG models you own, make an army out of them, and fight other people. So that's how it
Oh,
started. So it started with fantasy, uh, and then it spawned a sci-fi spin-off, 40K, and then
okay.
40K basically it blew up. It became their number one game. It outsold fantasy by a lot, and then uh there's this thing that happened. It's just speculation, but this certain video game developer called Blizzard tried making a Warhammer game. That did not
Wizard.
push through, but they already had models. They already had 3D models, and those 3D models in it became the Terrans, the Zerg, and the Protoss. So the Zerg, I think,
Oh,
are the
okay.
Tyranids, which is my army. I have them right now, waiting, waiting to be played for later. We're gonna play a few games.
I've been playing StarCraft before. That was my gateway game to PC gaming
Yes,
initially.
a lot of us
So
are. A
that's
lot.
why
Me too.
when I saw the Warhammer, what do you call this,
Space
games like right
Marines.
here, Space Marines, they really look like Space Marines to me. Like this
Yeah,
one
StarCraft Marines. Yeah,
is like Marines. I'm just
yeah.
looking for the
The
medic heroes.
StarCraft
Who was the medic?
Marines are clearly based off Warhammer Space Marines. The Zerg are based clearly off Tyranids, and the and Protoss, I think, are a combination of the Eldar or Space Elves and the Tau.
Definitely look at these. These is definitely that's a Zergling right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But some people
The
would
Ultralisks are Carnifexes. The Ultralisks are based on Carnifexes, and if you look at the old model, they look like the Ultralisks.
I see. But for you, from my understanding, there's not much supply where we are in CDOC. That's why I
Yes.
actually was late to the game. Personally, the first time I saw this miniature hobby is from a friend of mine, Janton Kwaki, who brought his figures from Manila. Uh, because there's no supply, you can't really play with anything new
Yeah.
at that point in time. So you have to
Yeah.
borrow what you have existing.
Difficulty
eh,
in living in an island called Mindanao.
but then again, the landscape is now changing, and people are more
Yeah.
privy to this type of hobby. In terms of like coming into the hobby itself, which aspect of the hobby excited you more? Is it playing the playing the tabletop scenario first, or is it about painting your own miniature? Which part of that hobby really tickled your creative juices
Uh
or hooked you in?
for me, because I came from MTG and Pokemon, it started with really the tabletop aspect. I enjoyed the tabletop aspect. I played D&D a bit. Uh, we used Warhammer models on my first D&D game, and I was hooked with D&D for that time. And
Mm,
and I did at that time I did not know that we were using Warhammer models until I looking back at I think I used Dwarf Slayer from Warhammer Fantasy back then. So that was a hindsight moment for me.
I see. I
Um,
see.
uh, I I first played D&D back in New York while I was living there. So uh, I was introduced. So if there's
Sorry, what was that?
I first played D&D back in New York, and at that time, I still did not know that Warhammer was a tabletop game. In hindsight, when I looked at the old models I remember one specific dwarf character I played. It was a dwarf berserker, my first character ever. Uh, it was it was a dwarf slayer from the original Warhammer Fantasy. In hindsight, I still did not know that Warhammer was a tabletop game. I thought it was just a video game at that time while I was living in New York.
Sorry about that. Do we mean this figurine right here? This dude?
Not really that dude. A bit,
A bit
lower, a bit lower.
lower.
Yeah,
This one.
that throng, that the one with the five dwarves, orange-haired
Okay.
dwarves.
I got you.
Yeah,
Got you. These
that.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, those ones. So one of them, in hindsight, I did not know because we played over in a game store in New York. I did not know that they lent me a Warhammer model because I created a character that's a dwarf barbarian, and
I
here,
see.
use this model. I did not know it's a Warhammer model until hindsight. I saw some Warhammer fantasy models when I learned it was actually a tabletop game when I went back home in the Philippines uh
Where,
and started.
sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
go.
I was just thinking,
Yeah,
where did you get your first miniature set? Where is it? New York, Philippines?
gamesworkshop.com. From the company itself, they have the
Right.
official website, and I just bought. I initially did not know that there is a community here in the Philippines
Mm.
until I stumbled into some forums. The Facebook algorithm pointed it to me. So at first I just wanted. I'm from Gundam, so I'm from Gundam too. So assembling models, painting models, nothing new to me. Unfortunately, I did not know where to get Warhammer models. So just Googled it. And then gamesworkshop.com, the company that makes it, ships it out via their online shop. And that's where it led. So my first 10 purchases are online from gamesworkshop.com. And then I discovered that it's actually cheaper here in the Philippines if you buy it. Local gaming stores actually sell their products cheaper than the official web store. So that's what I found out. So I started buying here locally afterwards.
You mentioned a while ago that your first figurine or like miniature is uh Wolfen. Is it Wolfen?
I bought that one in Japan during a trip. Wolfen is one of my favorite models because they can just tear anything apart up. Tanks, monsters, infantry. They
Got you,
can
got
just
you.
go through them. Wolfen are space wolves who have uh, succumbed to their gene seed. The space wolves have a very flawed gene seed, which turns them into werewolves. So they're Viking werewolves.
Are
Space Marines.
they, what do you call this? Your first figurine? These guys
No.
right here.
My first figurine is the Dark Imperium starter set. So
Dark
the first
Imperium.
the first model I bought, I think, was when I went to Japan. The first model I bought after that was Japan, I think. So Wolfen and Bjorn. So yeah,
I see. I see.
that's it. That's
This
the
is the
starter
set
set.
right here.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Emil now owns the Death Guard half. I own the Space Marine half, which I turned into Space Wolves. So they're Viking werewolves. Space
yeah.
Marines have a lot of flavor. There are vampire Space Marines. There are werewolf Space Marines, which I play. There are Night Space Marines, so they have a lot of flavor. They have different rules, but in the upcoming 10th edition, I think there some of those rules are going to be blurred a bit, except
Mm.
for I think Space Wolves, Blood Angels, which are the vampires, Dark Angels, and I think Death Watch. So those four won't be would be different from the rest. The rest would
Mm.
be quite the same.
Got understood. So, is it fair to say you have 10 years worth of experience in Warhammer?
For the tabletop 2018, not a lot. I'm
Mm.
still learning, getting the hang of it. To be honest, I got my ass whooped. That reminded me that I'm not that experienced yet. Then for Warhammer, yeah, I've known Warhammer. I've been hooked to Dawn of War. In fact, I'm still playing Dawn of War. Uh, both one and two. Three sucks. And I still play Total War Warhammer 3. And right now, I think I'm gonna download Bolt Gun, two new Warhammer games, Bolt Gun, and I think I'm looking forward to Space Marine 2, which is a
Mm.
third-person shooter.
Okay. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of games.
Yeah, it's a lot of games.
Let
I
me bring
also
it
do
back
Warhammer
to
Underworlds.
let me bring it back to tabletop for now. Zeroing in on the tabletop aspect, I feel like the next stage, if I were to to compartmentalize or to try to put a structure into your current journey to the Warhammer ecosphere, should I
Mm-hmm.
say, first would be your proximity to the game, knowingly or unknowingly, in the form of video games, D&Ds, and hobby shops that lent you the figurines, not knowing that it was actually part of a franchise.
Yeah.
That would be the proximity wise. The other one is the actual direct contact. The next phase is the direct contract and acquisition that you had.
Mhm.
Luckily,
Mhm.
that the Games Workshop has a couple of products that would kind of give you a flavor of how the game is. So, as you said a while ago, you have the Dark Imperium that you have like the Nurglids, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, these are like
Nurgles, Emil already has the Nurgles.
the
I'll play
Nurgles.
with him later.
Nice. And then the other half is the Space Marine. So it gives you a flavor of, hey, these are the different facets of the game. We can go super alien in terms of like alien predator look,
Hmm.
vibe, and we can
Yeah.
also go the other route we're in superhuman, which is your StarCraft affiliation, or like the at least the facet. Am I uh, rounding it off as expected?
Yes. Yes.
All
Yes.
right, and
Yeah. Go ahead.
next step would be probably tabletop with your friends, as you said a while ago.
Yeah.
Emil and the team would be coming in into play. How's
Yeah.
that? How's that going?
Nick is already waiting for me.
Oh,
He
sorry,
has
sorry
Chaos
about that.
Marines, and I am playing Necrons today. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a goodbye to ninth edition. So I think it would be fitting if the starter army of ninth edition Necrons would be my final army
Mm,
for this for today. So that's why I picked Necrons for today. I could always go for my Tyranids or my Space Wolves, but for this final 2,000 point game, I'm gonna go with Necrons just for symbolism's sake.
gotcha. It's more of the spirit of the game because of the ninth ed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotcha. I gotcha.
It's a farewell to ninth ed. I don't.
If I were to say so myself a little bit, Rick, I hope you don't mind me cutting a little bit here
mm,
and there because I'm really excited about how the tabletop works in
yeah.
the community CDOC. My understanding is that the community is quite small right now.
Uh,
Am I
um.
am I correct?
Yeah. There are a lot of play people with models here. There are people with models who just collect.
Mhm.
Same route as me. They found Games Workshop through Googling, and they
Mm.
just collect. They don't play. I collect, play, build, paint. I do everything.
Mm.
Are also some players who are a bit too busy right now, so they don't really have time.
Mm.
If they have time, they're usually here. If
I
they have
got you.
time, adulting. So
Yeah.
I'm only in Cagayan de Oro for around weekends and Monday, so I cannot really play any other day. Saturday I play Pokemon here in Top Deck, and then Sunday Warhammer. So that's my free day. Those are my free days. I cannot play any, but there are others who play at home, like
Mm.
Marco Agudo. They play at home, but during the weekdays or Saturday when I'm playing Pokemon. So unfortunately, our schedules do
Schedules
not
doesn't
align.
match. I
Yeah,
got you. I got you. The
adult
the
stuff.
reason the reason why I brought it up was I was thinking if the community is not as diverse as other games are for tabletop, how do you solve the issue of boredom on a specific race? I understand that people would love like a specific race to play with, but at some time, if you're playing with the same people with the same team, doesn't it get tired? I mean, how
Um,
do you guys
I
resolve that?
actually there are some who have multiple armies. Doc Nico has, I think, orcs, space marines, and us uh, two different space marines. Uh I think Nicholson has Custodes and
Mm.
Chaos Marines. I'm gonna be I have 12 armies. I have 12 armies. Uh Yeah, actually, of those 12, a lot of them, I think two of them are my demo armies, which
Mm.
I am mostly demonstrating for beginners. They are free to lend. The others are not because they're my main. But if in the question of not getting tired, Games Workshop has this system of every quarter every 3 years they refresh the rules. So every 3 years, 2 to 3 years, this time it's 3. They rules reset. So from ninth edition it becomes 10th. So another 3 years, I think, or hopefully
Mm.
4, it's gonna reset again. So every time an army will feel a bit different, but basically the same. So if you get my drift,
Gotcha.
that's how they refresh the feeling. And for balancing, every 3 months they adjust. So they're unlike some card games which have ban lists. 40k
Mm.
does not do ban lists. Instead, they nerf by they nerf stuff like this gun will be -1 in strength. So it will go from strength, let's say strength 12, to
Mm.
becoming just strength 10. So they're gonna nerf it a bit. Uh, Subtract the dice that you roll, etc. And then Warhammer goes building an army. There's points, much like Hero Clicks. So 2,000 points, 1,000 points.
Mm.
Sometimes they won't change the rules, but they will increase the points like crazy. Like this overpowered unit costs 100 points one time and then 150. So that extra 50 points will be big because I must get rid of it's my army is now 2,050 points. I must get rid of a few models. So your army's not gonna be as overpowered anymore since you're subtracting a few units.
Gotcha. But for those who are probably going to be watching us in the future and doesn't know what's happening or what we're talking about in terms of like the points, I myself barely know the rules, but what I can infer from the explanation a while ago is that unlike other tabletop games, which you there are items that you cannot use outright. Like for example, for card games, as you made mention a while
Yeah,
ago, they're
ban
just basically saying
lists.
you can't play this anymore. Warhammer and the tabletop RPG games, my assumption is that they don't do that. Instead, because of the luxury of how the gameplay is structured, they can just change the rules so that it quote unquote balances it out. So
Yes.
if you are beloved to that specific figurine, you don't necessarily have to shelve. Again, one more time. I'm new onto this, so if I
Mhm.
call things figurine,
Okay. Yeah,
and
no problem. Yeah,
people out there
a
was
lot of
misconstrued. This is
people
not a
call
figurine.
a lot of people call them figurines. They're still it's figurines models. Sometimes it doesn't matter except for the really, really fanatical gatekeepers.
Gotcha, gotcha. I might we might get that comment saying that. How dare you, sir? How dare you? How dare you call
I'd call
my
them
beloved
figurines
model figurine?
sometimes. Don't worry, figures, figurines. For me, that doesn't matter. Models, so doesn't
Gotcha,
matter.
gotcha. All right. Circling back, I would probably say that's what I inferred. Rebalancing the game, so to speak, and because of how dynamic the game is, how they want to push the boundaries of what things can do, it might change from time to time, and I do understand that. And I do like that you mentioned that the game later would be a farewell to ninth, which
Yes.
would infer that there will be a 10th, which will then
Phew.
predicate it by saying that there has 8 other versions of the game.
The
Am I
first
correct?
version is more of an RPG. The first
Okay,
version is
okay,
more of an RPG, and
got it.
then the second version is where it actually started. It was infamous for being one of the most unbalanced games ever, and then third edition came. They refined it, and then they refined it, and then seventh edition became too bloated, and then they reset it to eighth, new rules, new everything. And then it became ninth. Unfortunately, ninth became too bloated again. So they reset it again to 10th.
To 10, yeah. For me, that's a hallmark of a good. My understanding is that that's a hallmark of a good game because the
Yes.
developers is continually thinking of making sure that the players are taken care of, the playing field is somewhat even
Mhm.
because of the how the math works. It's never going to be a perfect even. Otherwise, well, you know, why do it? There are
Yeah.
3 categories of players.
Balancing.
You know what I mean? Balancing it
Yeah.
all ties out into a theory of there's a game theory that applies to all games, and if you're
Yes.
interested in picking that one up, yeah, do it in your own time. For now,
Yeah.
we'll be zeroed in into this little crevasse of
Balancing.
tabletop RPG and our. So for me, that's a hallmark of a good thing. People say if they change a little bit, like forgive me for deviating a little bit here, Mr. Rick, or Sir Rick, but I hear a lot of like outcries when things are changed for other games. Say for example, my beloved MTG game. It's a lot of like, oh,
Yeah.
why ban this? Why not ban that? It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get it perfectly every time, guys.
Yeah.
And at the
Warhammer's like
same
that too.
time,
Some
oh,
units that don't deserve a points increase get points increases.
increase. I mean, it is. It's an ebb and flow.
Yeah, it's an
Sometimes your
event, bro.
favorite agree. Sometimes your favorite deck doesn't get the boost that it needs. Sometimes
Yeah.
other for sure there are different communities that are also happy with it. So if we play long enough, we'll see our time. Our time will come.
Yeah.
That I'm quite sure. Or Sir Rick. That being said, though, after being able to saturate your play with your uh, with the community, somehow for me it breeds a different type of hunger, a competitive hunger,
Yeah.
which you can't really do with your friends, yo. Let's be
Yes.
real.
Yeah.
I can't, I can't really be doing competitive stuff with my friends because it just ruins the friendship at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, which
It's
brings me
like
to my
playing
next topic.
Uno.
Which brings me to the next topic here, Sir Rick, and the reason why we have this
Yeah.
stream as well is to impart. For those of you who are not privy or not part of the Top Deck Games community, Zurich actually traveled to Manila to play on a tournament. So, Zurich, if you could give us a download about what the tournament is about and who organized it. Yep.
It was organized by Wartilio. It was the Wartilio Grand Tournament or GP. GPs are the big tournaments in Warhammer. So there's the Age of Sigmar. It's Age of Sigmar, which is the fantasy side of Warhammer. And it happened over at Estancia Mall in Pasig, in the third floor, right outside, in the middle of the mall.
And what I'm
And
looking at here is,
my army.
oh my god, this
That's the Seraphon or the Lizardmen. They're my main army in Total War Warhammer 2 and 3, the video games. And they're also my army in the tabletop as well.
love them. I love them. They
They're
look so.
Aztec dinosaurs. It's
They are
dinosaurs riding dinosaurs.
exactly. I was like, yo, this is crazy. That's a dinosaur riding a bigger dinosaur.
Yes,
How can you
basically.
go wrong?
So Seraphon are lizardmen. In Age of Sigmar, there are four sides, so four grand alliances. There's Order, Chaos, Death, and Destruction. So Death is your undead armies. Destruction are your orcs, your ogres, your goblins. Chaos is, well, if you're familiar with the Warhammer lore, you'd know what chaos is. They're the evil gods, the demons, the corrupted humans. So that's chaos. And then order are everything else. So lizardmen belong to order. So I'm part of the order factions, and I entered the
Technically, a
tournament.
quote unquote a good guy, is it?
Yeah, quote unquote good guy. They're a good guy army. They are the defenders of order. They are the heralds of the old ones.
Ooh.
They often don't get along with other order factions, but mostly they get along well with the Space Marine equivalents, the Stormcasts.
Understood. That being said, though, how different is it in joining a tournament and just playing tabletop? What's the different vibe?
It here in Cagayan de Oro, when we play, it's more casual. I win, I lose, so doesn't matter. No stakes. There, I got bodied. I got bodied my first game. My first game, I drew the defending Wartilio GP champion Nico Noel with his Maggotkin of Nurgle. He's a chaos guy. I'm an order guy. I got bodied. My dinosaurs, he wrecked me. Oh yeah, that we were playing. I was playing the defending champion at that time. He owned this tournament. He only got third, but the top three, it's a rock paper scissors scenario. So Nico defeated the eventual champion, who played Zinch, another chaos faction. The defending champion defeated a vampire player, a Soulblight player, Death faction, and then the Soulblight player defeated Nico. So it's a rock paper scissors scenario. The top four are all 4-1 in the final standings, and Nico unfortunately drew third. But it was so close. It was really close. The organizers, told me that Sir Lance told me that the top four were really, really close. So I think 5 people had 4-1 scores, and it was a nightmare now to it was a nightmare because and anybody could have been sent. Okay, this tournament is a qualifier for the Warhammer World Championships in Atlanta, Georgia,
Oh my god, that
and
was what a big event,
and
man.
yeah, so I got 3 wins and 2 losses. I got 3 wins and 2 losses, and the winners, the top 5, I think, are 4-1. So I'm just 1 win away. I won almost. My second match, I lost. I almost won that. Unfortunately, I choked.
Oh
Kept
man.
rolling a lot of. Kept. I got. I didn't get bodied. I actually killed more models than my opponent. Unfortunately, it's victory points. So my opponent controlled the game, controlled the tempo, even though I was attacking. I was playing aggressive against him. He just held objectives, outplayed. He didn't outplay me. I think I outplayed him, but he played the game how it was supposed to be played. If that makes sense. So
I got you. I understood. I felt that it's more of like the strategy. The difference is
yes,
strategy. The other strategy just had focused on getting the points done, and then
yes.
therefore kind of yielded the positive results for them. That being said, 3-2 is not. It's not bad, right? 4-1. If 4-1 was the champion, 3-2 was
Yeah.
damn close.
Yes. It was. I was surprised when I won my next game, my third game, because my first opponent was defending champion Nurgle. Second
Mm.
opponent was Slanesh. I was supposed to be good against Chaos because I have bonuses against my army has being the defenders of order. My army is supposed to be has bonus against Chaos. That did not pan out. I was outplayed both times. And then the third, I was a bit outplayed, but I lost 3 of my dinosaurs. But
Oh my
my big scary Carnosaur, the big T-Rex thing, being ridden by a big smaller T-Rex, came in clutch. Very very good game. He killed both shamans and one of his monsters. It was a clutch game. I think I won the points battle there, even though I lost my monsters. So I think I only had my Carnosaur and my wizards left. He killed everything. I won that because I held the objectives more.
Gotcha. So Rick, you were mentioning a while ago that the competitive scene is a bit different because it's casual for tabletop. Is it the feeling that you get for the preparation? How is it very different?
They're more serious. People are more serious because the Wartelia guys, I watch their battle reports on YouTube, and they're a bit really casual. They play for fun, but Nico, I've watched him in their YouTube channel, and he's really good. He's he was the defending champion for a reason. But during those their videos, he's playing casually. He's not really serious. When I faced him at the tournament, he was serious. He was dead serious. I got bodied. I got wrecked. It was one-sided. The final score was 26-6. He had a 20-point margin against me. I was bodied. That was a learning experience, but he did advise me to, because my dinosaurs were tough. They were hard to kill. He told me to castle up in the middle and pick just 2 points and hold them. I did that in my last 3 games. It worked out. I kind of did not follow his advice Uh, because as soon as I found out, oh, it's Slanesh and he has demons, and my units kill demons really easily. So I went aggro. I should not have done that. Yeah. He pulled a trap card on me.
Got you,
So
got you, got you.
yeah,
Lesson
so
learned. Time to debrief on that lesson learned. Probably on the next
uh,
tournament, you'll be super prepared by then.
yeah, I'll be prepared. I think by game three, I was prepared for anything already. I took things seriously starting then because I didn't want to go back home with 0 wins. By the way, there.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
Okay. It's nothing.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, for me, that's really the pinnacle. Like, I just joined a RCQ yesterday. I also choked on my last game. It's not really more of what do you call this? Nothing. I would probably say that if you lose on a game where the game is worth playing, you don't
Yeah,
feel slighted. You know what I mean? Like, if it
yeah,
was a back and forth, it was haymaker after haymaker, and you
yeah.
were doing your haymaker as well. It's
I'm
not
just, I'm, yeah, I'm just salty at the second game because I could have won that. It was a
uh,
really close game. I think I just lost by 3 points. It was just a three
oh,
point margin. It's a game that I should have won.
I got you.
Uh
I got you. Yep, yep. I hear that a lot for other players as well. But I think that still just reignites the spark inside. My opinion. At the end of the day, yesterday I was so tired. I would assume
yeah.
that you would also be the same way. Especially like you were just unlike tabletop card games where we just sit down the entire time. You guys stand, right? It's different.
Uh Depends on which game. So 40k, yeah, we stand. 40k and Sigmar, yeah, we stand because the tables are big. You have to reach forward, but sometimes you can sit down. Like for example, your opponent is moving his models around, so yeah, you can sit every now and then. But and the games are longer, so it was much more grueling than a card game. Uh, there were
Sure.
five games in total, and the first three were in day one. Day two was the last two games. So day one, I was just one win and two losses, and then went undefeated in the next games.
All right.
And
So just for scale, because I did a little bit of YouTube research in terms of like the entire the tournament scene. How long does one game last? Like,
depends if it's a one-sided beating, it's gonna not gonna even gonna last 2 rounds or 1 hour. If it's a
okay.
one-sided beating, uh, if it's a really close game, it could last for 3 hours. If it's
Right.
really
So
close, like
what I'm getting is 1 hour is the shortest, and then 3 hours could be
less than. We
less
had
than.
2,000 point games here that were one-sided and was decided in round one, first turn.
I see. I see. That could happen as well. But
Yeah,
normally the games are allocated, I assume, for around 3 hours. That's why
yeah,
it's a
three
split of three
hours.
two. 3 hours.
Yes, basically.
That's nine
Sorry, I
hours of
got
standing.
distracted. Not really standing. Shout out to Gerald Miguel, by the way. He treated me to lunch back there. Yeah. He says hi to you too.
I got you. I got you. That being, I think I'm really excited to for you to join another major event. Maybe from there we could decidedly put in a official tournament report. I think you've done
Yeah,
that as
yeah,
well
yeah.
already.
I've done that.
And then just to
I
show
got pre-
you, Rick, I told you I picked up a model
Oh,
off
yeah,
stream.
yeah.
I
Let me
picked
see.
up a
Let me
model.
see. Let me see.
I did the slap job, slap chop method on these
Yeah,
ones.
it's orcs. It's
So
orcs. You can slap chop it. You're
I
allowed
love
to. It's
orcs.
orcs.
So I haven't done a lot of paintings as of yet. My policy, or like the thing that I imbued with this hobby, is that I would want to enjoy the painting process as well. I want to make sure that each miniature has a name to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's not yet done for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was just putting a
It's okay.
primer on it. Okay. It's worse than it
It's,
is.
oh,
Than
it's a
it is.
flamethrower. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's a rocket launcher. Oh
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's good. That's good. It's very good. That's a good base coat. That's a dark green.
I'm doing
That's
the
a
dark
nice
green
dark
one.
green. Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank
Uh,
you, thank you.
I'm just concerned you chose a rocket launcher. They just have one shot and they hit on fives. But if it hits, it's gonna be painful for your opponent.
It's my
Trust
move,
me.
baby.
They hit on fives, but once if they hit,
They hit.
especially
Okay.
on a six, especially on a six, it's gonna hurt.
Uh, I even bought dice sets already, just to be
Oh,
ready
nice.
on the tournament. Yeah. But it's somewhere here in my closet. I haven't
It's
arranged it yet,
okay. It's okay. I have a
but
lot of
yeah, the
dice too.
update, and then my combat patrol is not yet assembled. Right there.
Well, it's okay. By the way, for combat patrol, oh, I see you have a death scythe. Nice.
I also have a death site right there. I already
Yeah,
assembled that on my birthday.
yeah,
But
yeah. There's a very good, very very nice Gundam store there in Singapore.
mm,
Uh,
they have a lot
yeah,
here too.
they have a lot
Um,
there.
but anyways, for that, I'll just give you a quick update on my end. Probably, for those of you guys who are not aware, Top Tech would also be hosting a kill team tournament.
Warhammer Kill Team
Yeah.
tournament. Yeah.
So I think my thing here is that as a beginner as well, I'm quite overwhelmed with the 2,000 point army
2,000 points. Yeah.
systems.
Don't worry.
There are
We usually play 1,000 here. Because
gosh,
some of us don't have 2,000 points, especially beginners. So we do incursion games for
mhm,
now, and we will scale down our armies. If you buy an army, for example, we will scale down our own armies to play with your level, with what you can give. So sometimes we also nerf ourselves and go below your points
I
with
want
what you can
to
have.
I want to be on a level where I've done with my orc army. I want to play with the big mechanized robot, a Titan one. I forgot what it was called.
The big orc robot,
I,
Stampa,
not a Stampa. It's not going to be an orc.
Knight,
I said, yeah,
Imperial
knight,
Knight,
Imperial knight. Yeah,
Imperial
yeah,
Knight,
yeah.
Knight.
I think so.
Are you gonna be Imperial Knight or Chaos? Because Chaos has a lot of tricks. Imperial Knight is very what you'd say, very vanilla on the rules. They're very
Ah,
straightforward. Chaos
I
is a bit
see.
more underhanded robots
Then let's do the
wise.
chaos. Okay, thank you for that. Because I want. How many points is this, Rick?
Uh,
Sorry.
Chaos, I think for 2,000 points, you can field 5 knights. So for Chaos, I think two smaller ones. For 2,000 points, I think uh, hmm, around
Can you just
4 to 5 of the bigger ones. Four
okay?
to
Can I
five.
just come in? Can I just come in and bring 5 robots?
Yeah,
That's my
that's
army.
2,000 points. That's 2,000 points of them. 5 robots, yeah, 2,000 points. And you're likely
Yeah.
wreck our armies here. You'll likely wreck some armies here. Most of the people here don't have answer for big.
For the
I
robots.
have, but I and Doc Nico have Nicholson too. But some of the others may not be able to counter big scary robots because they don't have much an anti-tank. The meta here is Space Marine meta, so they're more attuned to
The Space Marines.
fighting
Gotcha.
fighting heavy infantry rather than vehicles. So if you're gonna bring knights, that's gonna disrupt the meta here.
Gotcha. All right, Rick. We're approaching our 1 hour mark, and I don't want to take away much from your only happy
Yeah,
day of the week. I'm really
only two.
thankful that
I
you
have
joined.
two. I have
Only
two,
Warhammer happy day of
and
the week,
yeah,
probably.
I actually play practice matches against myself back in the farm because there's nothing else to do. There's no signal. There's no electricity sometimes.
Gosh, no problem. Couple of things for myself. The other thing I'm trying to uh, explore is to check out terrains. I want to bring a
Ooh.
lot of terrains into like a free to use terrains,
Oh,
so that
nice. That's
we're a bit dynamic on
I
what
actually
we
have
can do.
terrains here. I actually
Yep.
have terrains here, but I am now bringing them home because it's not really as messy here in Top Deck.
the-
But if anyone wants to play at Top Deck, I'll just stop. I think I can send someone to send my stuff here.
It's
Uh,
okay. It's okay, no problem. But that's my thought process. I want to bring a lot more different terrains into the shop that can come in, or like modular
yeah,
terrains.
modular.
That would be a good idea. There's a lot of options. I'm still just exploring for now, and then
3D printed is
slowly.
good.
Yep,
3D
I'm
printed
also
is good.
thinking about putting in a 3D printer there somewhere. I just want to research what it is. So,
3D
couple of
printer
things.
is good.
But for now, I want to focus on doing the kill team for now. Want
Kill
to
Team
check
is
out
good.
how it looks.
By the way, for those who do not know, Kill Team is squad on squad. So it's a smaller scale version of 40K. It's a different format than the main game. The main game, it's big army on army. You're gonna bring tanks. You're gonna bring monsters. Kill Team is a much smaller scale. Sometimes 6 on 6, 10 on 6, depends on the army. So yeah, it's really small scale, not really what you'd call epic. It's about the same length as a card game, so don't worry about the time.
This might be the perfect
Yeah,
format for me to get
yeah,
acclimated to the game.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Their rules are just different. Kill Team has, I think, different stats for the units. That's just the difference. But for example, orc commandos hit on threes for some reason. Not very fluffy, but hey,
It is what it is.
hit on fives. But for Kill Team, somehow they hit on threes. Like what? That's commandos. They're the sneaky boys. They don't follow orc doctrine, or
For
they're not.
sure.
Not considered very orky.
Orc is a mindset, maybe. Wag!
Yeah, yeah. Orcs will bury your units with a lot of firepower with dice, basically. So a unit of 30 boys will give you 90 shots. So you better bring a bucket of dice if you're playing orcs. That's what we say.
All right. So Rick, I'm just gonna give you this time to give quick shout outs, couple of shout outs, couple of things you wanna say to the stream.
Guys, if you want to play 40K, approach us or approach me. Message Top Deck. They already have some kits here, only a few. If you want to start Kill Team, I think there's gonna be a few that's gonna come up for Kill Team, and somehow I think Yeah, I think that's it. They have models already for sale here at Top Deck, and more are to come. And then every Sunday we play here, 40k Kill Team, Sigmar, hopefully Warcry 2, and then Underworlds as well. So, kana lang.
All right, sounds good. Quick shout out from Chris. I don't know what that
Hi,
means, but
Chris.
okay. Okay. All right. That is us for now. On Top Tech Games, I'm joined by Sir Rick of the Warhammer community. Thank you very much for joining us, Sir Rick, giving us a couple of insights of how the transition is. If you want to pick up the game, as Rick mentioned, please approach Sir Rick at the shop. He'll be on the shop around Saturday and Sunday, as he made mention about his time frame. If you want to play with him on Pokemon, Saturday it is. If you want to play Warhammer, Sunday it is. Probably I would recommend though to approach earlier, so that Rick
Yeah, you
could
can
have.
PM. You can PM the Top Deck page, I think, and
Mm,
then they will basically Gerson or Busoy will tell me about it,
no problem, no
and then I
problem.
will be ready. I will be ready by Sunday or Saturday if you want.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. All right. Okay, Sir Rick, thank you very much for your time again. This is Top Deck Games, and as always, please, everybody, yeah, stay stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye.